What if the darkest episode of Euphoria was also its most spiritual? Season 3 Episode 8, titled, In God We Trust, doesn't just end a season, it emotionally dismantles everything we thought we knew about Rue Bennett and the world around her. This is not just a finale. It's a collapse, a confession, and possibly, a farewell. Let's break it down. The episode begins in the aftermath of chaos. Rue Bennett, played by Zendaya, has spent the entire season spiraling deeper into addiction, crime, and emotional destruction. She's been running from consequences for as long as she can, but in this episode, the running stops. And almost immediately, everything changes. The biggest and most shocking moment comes early in the episode. Rue dies from an accidental fentanyl overdose after unknowingly taking pills laced with a deadly substance. There is no dramatic warning. No heroic rescue. Just silence, consequence, and shock. And just like that, the emotional center of Euphoria is gone. From that point on, the episode shifts completely. It is no longer about survival. It becomes about grief. Ali emerges as one of the most important emotional anchors of the finale. Rue's death breaks him in ways we haven't seen before. His grief turns into a downward spiral, leading him into relapse and emotional collapse. But grief in Euphoria is never simple. Ali eventually channels his pain into confrontation, stepping directly into the criminal world that played a role in Rue's destruction. This leads him to Alamo. And this is where the episode shifts again. Alamo, the figure tied deeply to the season's criminal underworld, finally meets his end. His death is violent, intense, and symbolic. It feels like justice, but not healing. Because Rue is still gone. Nothing can fix that. Meanwhile, Laurie's storyline also reaches its conclusion as she dies during a DIA raid. Another piece of Rue's dangerous world is erased, as law enforcement finally closes in on the chaos that has surrounded the characters all season. But again, the show refuses to give comfort. Every death feels like closure, but also emptiness. And that is exactly what, In God We Trust, is trying to say. This episode is not about happy endings. It is about consequences. The final act of the episode moves into something more symbolic and spiritual. Throughout Season 3, Rue's journey has been layered with religious imagery, questions of faith, redemption, punishment, and forgiveness. In the final moments, the episode leans fully into that symbolism. Rue's story is reframed not as a failed recovery, but as a tragic search for peace that she may have only found in death. The homestead and commune imagery that appears throughout the season becomes a metaphor for release. Whether it is real or symbolic is left intentionally unclear. But the message is powerful. Rue is no longer fighting. She is gone. The final scenes focus less on shock and more on reflection. What does a life like Rue's mean? What does addiction take from a person, and from everyone around them? Ali's grief becomes the emotional echo of that question. There is no resolution for him, only survival. And that is what makes the ending so controversial. Some viewers will see Rue's death as devastatingly final. Others will see it as tragic storytelling meant to underline the cost of addiction and trauma. But one thing is certain. Euphoria Season 3 Episode 8 does not aim to comfort its audience. It aims to leave them thinking. And as the screen fades out on, In God We Trust, what remains is not resolution, but impact. A broken world, a lost character, and a story that refuses to offer easy answers.